never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Oh my goodness, we've got Johann in the house. Hello, mate. How are you?
I am very well, thank you, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm loving life, mate. Absolutely loving life. Sun shining. There's a beach just down the road. But you've been on a beach recently, haven't you?
I mean, technically, there's a beach about 10 minutes down the road from me. I'm in Portobello, which is Edinburgh's answer to the seaside. So
okay.
But I don't go down there very often because it's full of dog walkers and cyclists, and it's just not relaxing. It's too busy.
And do you have palm trees up there?
No. I mean, I was on a call earlier to Andy T, one of our new support guy, and he's like, "God, it's so warm. How are you coping in your little office in the garden?" I said, "Well, the door's open and it's Edinburgh, so it's about 10 degrees cooler than here than it is anywhere else."
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you can hear, I've got the fan on in the background. Right, okay. So if anyone doesn't know who Johann Goree is, now's your chance to tell us who you are, please.
So my name is Johann Goree. I am the co-founder of Client Engager, or Engager as we're now called, which we're here to talk about today. I've also got my own accounting firm, technically free, with a team of 15 people looking after about 800 clients across the UK. On top of that, I do some YouTubing and I do some podcasting, and a bit of this and a bit of that. Whatever keeps me busy and distracted.
Yeah, we're both fangirls of each other, aren't we? We both admire each other's podcasts and what you get up to. So, right, I'm going to put you right on the spot now. If I turned around to you and said, "Look, you can only do one of those things," what would it be?
It would be Engager.
It would be Engager. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Not that you are, because you are the world's busiest man, aren't you?
So 5 or 6 years ago, when everyone was talking about niching and, you've got to niche and you've only got to deal with one type of client in your accounting industry, it's like, no, sod off. I like variety in life. And I also have this belief that what I learned from like the restaurant industry, I could probably teach and use aspects of that in another industry, and it adds value to the advisory I'm giving, right?
Yeah.
And also, when COVID comes along, hospitality market disappears. There goes my client base. Yeah. So I like variety and diversity in life, and I like to wake up thinking, I'm not dealing with the same sales data every day. I'm dealing with different problems and stuff like that. So yeah, I like variety, and that's why I keep so busy. But if I had to sack it all off and just do one, Engager would be the one. Like, that's the bit I love.
I thought you were going to say podcast, then you disappointed me. So going to give a shout out to Michal for coming on and saying hello, good afternoon. And Nick Robinson, afternoon chaps. What's not to love? 2 of my favorites. Bless you, Nick. Thank you very much indeed. So there's a lot to unpack in all of that. And you are running this amazing business, and you've purchased a couple of other businesses recently as well, or probably it seems recent. How long ago was it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
2 years today that I took over one of them.
Yeah.
And in 14 days time, or 13 days time now, it'll be a year to that day that I took over the other one.
Wow. So how is that? Most accountants that I speak to are too busy with all of their clients. The last thing they want is a load more staff and another premises and all of that sort of malarkey. How's it panned out for you?
Yeah, it's a challenge. It always is, especially if they're in certain industries that are then struggling or stuff like that. And we're now seeing the fallout that we were told we would see from COVID. It's now happening now, with businesses going under and really struggling. It's kind of taken a while to hit, but I was chatting to Peter, who I do a lot of any insolvency advice goes to him, and he was saying it's hit now. In the last 4 weeks, this is the wave of struggling that we were expecting. He's never known such a busy summer, and he's been here for years. So yeah, there's a challenge, but I've got an incredible team who, I've just come back from 2 weeks away. I think I had 3 messages in 2 weeks from Jade, my operations manager, on WhatsApp. That was it. I didn't have anything else to do. and I've come back and everything's in hand. It's all fine.
Perfect.
So,
and that's what you need as a decent ops manager, isn't it? Yeah. Fantastic. So
Yeah.
It didn't burn down and it's still there.
Exactly. And I still look after 150 clients myself personally. Like,
Wow.
I've got a bookkeeper and a payroll person that does the day-to-day stuff, but I'm responsible for those 150 relationships and meetings and phone calls and understanding their business. But thanks to AI and SIF analytics, I'm now doing, I spend 10 minutes prep time for an hour-long meeting, and then 10 minutes de-prep, as it were, I've got my notes transcribed straight away from my AI note taker. The AI SIF analytics has given me insights for conversation points before the meeting. So yeah, I can do all of that and run Engager and podcast live an hour every week, and videos and everything else because of systems.
I want to dig into that, but that's not what we're here to talk to. So you are coming back. You are definitely coming back. If you can squeeze me in. Look, the whole reason for a chat today was around CRM practice management, whatever you want to call it in the accounting space. But I don't know if you saw my post today on LinkedIn, but I'm looking for a CRM package because I've just got to a place in my business where I was like, oh, what do I do? So why do we need something like this in our business, Johann?
So that you can do more, basically. Like, I don't worry about emailing my clients, oh, your VAT period coming up, or I don't worry about what work have I got to achieve by the end of today, because the system does it for me. Like, practice management has done that all for me. Now, the challenge with CRM practice management, in the accounting and bookkeeping world, there's a blurry line between what's a CRM, what's a practice manager. Is it the same thing? Should they be doing the same? At what point does a CRM become a practice management? What point is a practice management not a CRM?
Sure.
So it's working out where that journey starts. Now, for Engager and every other practice management tool out there at the moment, it starts at pricing normally and a letter of engagement.
Okay, so that would be something like your Go Proposal or Ignition, that sort of thing. Yeah.
So, and a lot of like Bright Manager does pricing now.
And
stuff like that. So, we're in that mix. Whereas when you speak to any other industry, if you talk about a CRM tool, it's about sales.
Yeah.
It's about sales pipelines and tracking relationships with clients and more sales with those clients. Whereas once you get past sales, we don't really need as much a CRM system in accounting and bookkeeping. What we need is our practice management that also does some of that CRM work.
And that's because you've got loads of different clients with loads of different needs, different year ends, all that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
How do you keep it all? Currently, it's in a spreadsheet, Johann. I guess you hear that a lot.
Yeah, and you know what? When we went public with Engager, I was very much, I kind of went on the assumption we're going to be fighting the big boys here. We're going to be up against Pixie, we're going to be up against Center, Bright Manager, those people who we're going to be taking users from. I was naive enough to assume that all of these solutions that were available well before Engager became available had dealt with the spreadsheet problem. How wrong I was.
Really?
24.5% of all of our users at Engager come to us from spreadsheets or nothing at all.
So almost a quarter of people coming to you have never had a CRM / practice manager. This might answer a question here. I'm afraid I don't know your name, LinkedIn user. But if you want to, next time you comment, put your name there. I have no idea where your hours come from, Johann. That is amazing to manage 150 clients as well as everything else. Mind blown. And this is because you're using an app to manage absolutely everything. Is that right?
Yeah. I tend to start work about 8 o'clock in the morning. I come into my office with a coffee and I sit down. First thing I do is I turn on Engager. I get my on-point accounting work out of the way, my accounting firm stuff done. And I go in and I go onto my Kanban board in Engager, and it has overdue, due today, due this week, etc. And you can group that information however you like, but that's how I love to see it.
Yep.
So I go in, right, 8 o'clock in the morning, due today, done. That'll be done by 8:30, 8:45, 9 o'clock at a push. Then it's like, right, do I need to jump onto Engager stuff, or have I got a bit more time? Okay, I'm going to go onto Engager stuff. Then I might come back in the afternoon and look at my deadlines board again and go, right, I've already done everything due today. What do I deal with some overdue stuff, or do I deal with some stuff that's coming up in the next few days to buy me more time in the future?
Yep.
And that's just my philosophy of how I work. But I couldn't do that if I was looking at a whiteboard. I mean, if I had a whiteboard, I'd have to rewrite it, wouldn't I, every day? I've lost 20 minutes of my life there.
Yeah.
Another 20 minutes trying to read it the next day. I was like, what the? I mean, oh yeah.
And the other thing is that whiteboard is only in your office.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you've got any remote workers, they can't see it.
All across the UK.
12 remote workers across the UK. Yeah.
Work from home.
Yeah. Perfect.
Has been since 2017.
Yeah.
Hang
on. 2017. What, you didn't need COVID to kick you to work from home?
My whole team has always been work from home since 2017.
Wow.
Wow. We've had offices for those that want to go into the office, but
sure.
After COVID, we got rid of all but one of them as well.
Yeah. That's blown my mind as well. But that's another issue. That's another program we have to come back.
Yeah.
So I sign a client up and then I sign into something like Client Engager, and that manages everything for me.
Yeah. So Client Engager at the moment starts at the point that you've got an inquiry, you need to send them a letter of engagement, and you need to price them.
Right. Okay.
So we've got pricing calculator like Ignition and Practice and Go Proposal and stuff have, but then we continue that journey right through to the point where you disengage the client. You know, whether you're closing the business, whether the client leaves you, whatever it is, we've got that whole journey covered. Pretty much every practice management does it that way nowadays.
Yeah.
The bit they don't do, which we're about to start doing from September onwards, and we're spending a lot of time on at the moment, is that before part where you're no accountant or bookkeeper we speak to, and we speak to a lot of them, has got any tracking system of inquiries. So they're losing out.
That's shocking.
Like, because it's a separate bit of software, it's separate money, it's a separate login.
Yeah.
What I've never understood is why hasn't any other practice management tool looked at it and gone, actually, the journey starts at that first phone call, that first email inquiry. We need to track that onwards.
Yeah.
They just go, well, here's a list of prospects. Cool. Where am I up to with each prospect? Well, that's a you problem. We don't do that. And here's potentially a client communication log of calls and stuff. It's like, cool, but I haven't got an overview of where am I up to with my sales. So from September onwards, you're going to have that in Client Engager. You're going to have your sales pipeline in Client Engager, where you're going to be able to go, new inquiries, meeting booked, needs a proposal, chasing the proposal, won or lost. Like, you're going to have control of that, which, as I said, like, the reason it bugs me that no one's done it before is because I run an accounting firm.
Yeah.
I know how many deals I've lost out on because I've not kept track and I've not followed up. And when I have implemented softwares, it's a frustration of entering loads of data into that software, only to have to enter it into my practice management tool later, and it's not efficient. And you go, oh, sell it.
And because I have spoken to a few accountants that use things like Active Campaign or HubSpot or something like that, but they are rare beasts, aren't they?
They are, and you kind of lose a lot of the benefits of a practice management tool or a CRM by using a non-specific one for your business. Like, there's a reason that, you know, Bright Manager, Center, Pixie, they've done so well because it's built for the right industry. Like, they have niched to accounting and bookkeeping. Let's face it, you know, the only thing more certain in life than death is tax.
Yeah.
Which means you need accountants and bookkeepers. Our industry is not going anywhere, so it's okay to niche to that. You know, like, if you niche to funeral directors, doesn't matter what happens in the world, until we find the ability to live forever, funeral directors are going to be needed. So if you're going to niche an accounting firm, niche it to something that will always be needed.
Yeah, I love that. So I've got a little message here from Kirsty, I wish things were around when I started 15 years ago. And I like that she's put affordable amount in brackets, because back then there was like 2 or 3 choices and they cost an arm and a leg. So nobody did it. But now today's apps are so much more affordable, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at a good practice management software should now probably take out 6 of your softwares that you need and cover them all. So beforehand, you needed a CRM to track your sales.
Yep.
Document management system.
Yep.
E-signing tool for your electronic signatures.
Okay.
A workflow tool of some sort, whether it was Trello or Asana, whatever it was. Portal for your clients to sign in and see their documents to save you time sending stuff and meet GDPR. Pricing tool. I mean, I dread to think how much you would, £500-600 you could spend on all of those.
Yeah, one of the things I do when I'm working with accountants and bookkeepers is look at what they're using, and I do this software audit, and you'll be surprised how many different software packages these practices are using, and how many they've got that they're not using. And I turn around and go, "What's this one here?" Don't know. Oh, hang on, I think Sally uses this one. So to go and speak to Sally. Oh, I haven't used that in 2 years. But they've been paying for that software for the last 2 years. It may only be 10-15 quid. You're the accountant. Tell me what that is over 2 years that they've just lost.
A waste of money.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like I do it in my personal life is every 2 or 3 months, I go through my bank transactions on my phone and I go, oh, Christ, I'm still paying for that. I need to cancel that. Oh, I'm still paying for that. Cancel that. When did we last use Amazon Prime? Get rid of that. I always say to my clients, you already do that in your personal lives. You check where you're spending money, do it in your business. And then look at, right, I'm spending money on all these tools. Is there an all-in-one or one that covers 3 or 4 of them? Let's do that as well. That'll save some money.
And so basically, Engager does all of the above.
Yeah, so Engager at the moment goes from the prospect list, where you can price a client using a pricing calculator that you build out your own pricing requirements for. Like, we're not here to tell you how to price. We're not here to tell you how to run your business. My theory is you're a business owner. That's because you want to have the discretion to run your business how you want. I'll tell you how I do it in my business. It's not right or wrong, probably more wrong than it is right, to be fair. But I'm not here to tell you you're doing it right or wrong. I'm here to give you a software that allows you to run your business how you want to.
Sure. So it's very flexible, because that's the other thing. Because I want to run my business like this, and I go to use this software, and it won't allow me. So then I have to do things differently. And I used to work for Digita, and I used to sell software, and I used to turn around to people and go, oh, and show them something, and they go, yeah, but can you do this? And I go, why would you want to do that? And doing a bit of digging, the reason they want to do that is because when they had their current software, they couldn't do what they wanted to do. So they now do. And like, hang on, what do you really want out of this? Well, I want to be able to see what Sally's got due. Right. Okay. So that's this view. Click. There you go. Sorted.
Yeah. And there is a bit of, like, as much as we are flexible and customizable as we can be, there is a limit to what we can do. Like, we've seen softwares, especially in the practice management space, that have become ultra customizable and flexible, and then they can't upgrade.
Yeah.
And they can't improve it, and they can't move on to new technology because that's not as flexible as the old technology was. So they've fallen by the wayside because of that. So there is a fine line to walk, which we're trying to walk. But we are also very aware that Engage is not going to be for everybody.
Sure.
Only 50% of people that take a trial out with us sign up.
Okay. Would you know if that was the same with all the other software providers?
No one really shares it. So who knows?
No. Good for you for sharing it. But that's interesting. That is interesting, because that's the thing. We can't all like everything, can we?
Like, I know from November last year, 44% of people signed up to our software. So that took a trial out, signed up to our software. We're now up to 50%.
Right. Well done.
And that's because we've increased the features, we've increased the customization, so it meets more and more people's requirements. But where that sits in the market, we don't know, because no one discloses that kind of information.
Well, maybe you should start shouting about that, and let's see what the others say.
We do in places at times.
Yeah, good for you. Mihal's just come back on. He uses Engager, and it's lovely software. He loves it. So how nice is that? But you know this because the only reason you built it is you couldn't find the right thing for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I went around the houses, putting it politely. One of my team members points out, like, people get around in nightclubs less than you get around softwares, Johann. So, but yeah, I literally went around the houses several times. I went back to some of them a couple of times, and it still wasn't right for me. And when Andy showed me this thing he built, he was banging on about, oh, you can send text messages. That for Andy was like mind blown stuff. But I looked at it and went, it's good, but it could be better. And then, 2 years on, here we are. And that was a conversation over a pint at a pub in London one summer afternoon, where he said, he'd been nagging me to look at this thing for ages that he'd built for his own firm. And he finally got me over a pint and collared me to look at it. And actually, I came on board and got on with it. But yeah, the reason was I was fed up of softwares telling me how to run my business.
Yeah.
And I was fed up of having to have so many softwares and so much money being wasted. And I was fed up of still not really actually being able to do what I wanted with it. So yeah, that's what ended up with Client Engager, or Engager as we're now called.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been watching you, and it just every you're always adding all these amazing new features. How do you know what features to add? Is it because you're using it, or how do you?
It started off that way. It started off that way, yeah. Whereas now from fairly early doors, we set up a Facebook group. There's now 1,600 people in that Facebook group.
Fantastic.
Constantly feeding back, constantly asking questions, which helps inspire. I'm in there constantly. Andy T and Ash are both in there constantly and responding to questions and stuff. But what people don't realize is Peter, our lead developer, is actually in there. He doesn't answer. We don't tag him in anything, but he's always watching. So when someone goes, oh, this bit here it'd be really cool if this could do that. If he sits there and goes, oh, that's actually really easy. I could do that tonight and roll it out tomorrow.
No.
Oh, yeah. E-signing, right? We said to Peter in October 22, we're going to need e-signing ready for January. 4 weeks later, built from scratch, ready to go, tested and released to the public.
Fantastic.
Catch-up fees. We said we could really do with catch-up fees. Built in 5 days and released.
Catch-up fees? What's that?
So when a client joins you halfway through a financial year,
okay, yeah,
you've got to do their accounts for the whole year.
Yeah,
deals with all of that for you, helps you calculate it all. But yeah, like we're a very small but nimble and reactive team, and as we're getting bigger, we're putting in better software. So we used to have just people just putting ideas on Facebook group, and we put that on a spreadsheet. We've now got this whole new software where all of our users can log in, see all the ideas that have been put on there. They can vote on all the ideas, so everything gets upvoted.
Like that.
Peter's always watching it, and then we move stuff into the roadmap as planned, and then into testing, and then into completed. So like this morning, I just moved 5 ideas in testing, which will go into public release on Monday next week.
5 new features.
5 new features, bug fixes, tweaks, how things work. Well, 3 of them have got over 50 odd votes each, so they're really high demand. Weren't on our roadmap at all. Peter's gone and delivered them on top of what we're currently planning with the roadmap as well.
Yeah. So, and that I think that's the difficult thing, isn't it? Is planning that roadmap. So do you have is the roadmap a few years down the line, or you just 3 months? 3 months roadmap.
We try and plan 3 months at a time, and then because we know Peter likes to do a one more thing, Apple Steve Jobs kind of thing of here's that thing that we plan to release this week. Oh, and by the way, you can also do this now. So he loves that. But also we love seeing like little things like Peter and Chris, our developers, when they look at stuff and they get stuck, like we all do, we all need a break sometimes. So if I get stuck on something, I need to mull it over. I normally go and pick strawberries in the garden and water the plants or something. So my mind just resets.
Yeah, I love that.
Peter and Chris go, oh, that's a nice, easy little build. I'll do that instead. Oh, by the way, that thing that's done. So, so like everything's driven. All of our all of our features and stuff, it's all driven by the community. The community will get to vote on it. It helps us prioritize everything. Sometimes low priority stuff will get done quickly because it's a quick and easy thing that will just fit into the next few days or something. But yeah, it is all community driven.
No, fantastic. And so, are we going to get EngagerCon?
I can either say yes or no.
Oh,
what I will say is watch this space.
No, fantastic. Yeah. Because the thing is, you haven't got customers, you've got raving fans, as we've just seen with
community.
Yeah.
Right. So because we're getting bigger now, we've got a more formal job title. So my job is head of growth. So I look after sales, support, and my other job is head of community. So every meeting we have internally where we're talking about product design, roadmaps, etc., my job is to sit there like an MP should be sat in Parliament, championing my community's priorities.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether Peter wants something built in a product or Andy wants something. I sit there and I champion what my community wants, which is our users.
Yeah.
So I don't think many other softwares or practice managements have a head of community, but that's a role we decided we want. I mean, I do that plus my other jobs, but it's a role that we've said this needs to be on our company structure because that's how important our community is. And there should always be someone in these meetings championing our community and their views and what they want.
Brilliant.
Yeah, like we're a very dynamic team, but we've got lots and lots of really big, cool ideas, and we'd love to do a lot of different things. And events is certainly on our radar. So Accountex Manchester is our first conference, so we're looking forward to being there.
You've got a stand at Accountex, have you?
Yep. So Accountex Manchester, we've got our first full stand there, which we're really looking forward to. But yeah, there are ideas. Like we would quite like for me to be able to walk on stage, do a keynote, pull my phone out my pocket and say, "Oh, by the way, you can do this now," or very Steve Jobs style.
Awesome.
But yeah, we've got lots of things we'd love to do. How quickly they'll happen and when they'll happen, it all depends on growth and where we're focusing at the time. But yeah, don't say no to anything. That's our attitude. It all goes on to the list and see what happens.
No, it's amazing. So when did Engager actually start? When was the first product? And it would have been you and Andy used it in the office, I suppose.
So it first really went to other users, including myself, 2 years ago, 2022.
That's phenomenal.
Andy had been dabbling with an idea of having his own practice management tool for 5 years before that, but hadn't really got it very far other than tracking some basic stuff and a basic CRM with text message functionality. But we put, summer 22 was when I started getting involved. We looked at it and he'd got Peter lined up already at that point, who was a family friend, and we just cracked on with it from there.
Yeah, well done. So I've been watching this afternoon and I'm thinking, this sounds all right. It's going to be better than my spreadsheet and my 6 other applications. What do I do now and how easy is it to set it up? And, what sort of onboarding and stuff like that do you do to help me? Because hang on a minute, it sounds far too complicated, Johann.
Yeah, that's a huge area of focus that myself and Andy, who does customer support, is looking at right at this moment. I literally came off a meeting about that to this. Onboarding and implementing a software is never easy, especially practice management when it covers so many things, not just client details, but workflows, and you have to start mapping these things out, which you've always had in your head and stuff. So yeah, I've seen firms with 650 clients and 14 employees sign up to Engager and be fully active in 48 hours. But that was a huge full team effort. They really got on with it because they got let down badly by their previous provider. I've seen people like bookkeepers and accountants who've got 10 users and have been doing it for 6 months. It's all down to how much time and resource you put into it. Personally, I'd rather do some evening shifts and a weekend or two, get on with it, get it done, knowing it's going to save me so much time in the future. But basically, if someone wants to sign up, all they do is go to our website. There's a 10-minute pre-recorded demo on there if they want to watch that. They can take a trial out, 28 days free of charge. Then they add the credit card details, bank card details at the end of that. That trial is fully functioning. Absolutely every single feature is available during our trial, as it is once you pay. I don't care whether you've got 1 client or 1,000 clients. Everyone gets the same features. You pay per client for the amount of clients you've got. It's not the amount of users by the amount of clients. So it's a lot more.
Oh, I love that.
Why
not the amount of users.
Yeah. Why am I taxing you as an accounting firm for growing your user base?
Yeah. For being a big practice.
Growing your clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it takes 10 people to deliver 5 clients worth of work, then that's very expensive in a lot of softwares. With us, I mean, 0 to 10 clients with us is £9 a month. Every single feature, unlimited users, the lot. So we scale up in batches of 50 and then 150 and then 250. But yeah, and you come in, we've got a huge help center full of videos, guides, PDF guides, etc. The help center is powered by an AI search bar to make sure you're getting the better search results. It's got an AI powered chat bot, which then comes to us if you're still stuck. Our average email response time is, our service level agreement is 2 hours.
Wow.
The last 6 months, it's been under 15 minutes.
That's incredible.
We are available 7 days a week, day and night, on the Facebook group. Like, people are baffled by the fact that at 11:30 on a Sunday night, I'm answering questions on the Facebook group.
That baffles me as well, mate. You are allowed to take some time off.
If I'm sat there watching TV and it's crap, and I've got my phone in my hand and someone's asked something on Facebook, how much effort does it take for me to go, here's the answer, while I'm watching rubbish on TV?
Fair enough.
Like, it takes it's no strain for me, no time. Like,
you've wowed another customer.
Yeah. All of a sudden, we've got good support and approachable support.
Yeah,
and then I do a weekly live every Wednesday night as well.
Live every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday night, 7:30, I go live to our community on Zoom. We normally get between 30 and 50 people turn up. I go through all the latest updates, and then I also answer any questions.
Wow.
So if you've got a question, it's not really urgent, and it's like, oh, how would I do that in this scenario?
Wait till Wednesday at 7:30.
I'll ask the question, and Johann will demo how to do it there and then.
Fantastic.
Find me another software that will do it.
I don't think there is one, mate. I don't think there is. Johann, you've been absolutely amazing today. Like I said, such a fascinating story. Well done for just getting out there and doing it and championing our accountants and bookkeepers. So yeah, thank you very much indeed. Thank you to everybody for all of your wonderful comments. Now, I normally at this juncture turn around and say who I've got next week, but it's Folk Week next week. But the week after, I cannot believe that this is happening. I am talking to Mike Michalowicz, the Profit First guy. How cool is that? So that's in a couple of weeks. Sorry?
His books are amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm reading Clockwork at the moment.
Great books.
Yeah. So he'll be on in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm going to go and enjoy Folk Week. You go and enjoy the summer. Thank you very much, Johann. And see you all again very, very soon. Cheerio.
Thank you.
You get out what you put in.